Well, vaping continues to be a problem throughout the country, especially among teenagers.
Mark Charter sat down with an expert from SSM Health earlier today. He's got you covered on how you can educate your teen on the dangers of vaping.
No question, teen vaping is on the rise across the country. This morning, SSM Health Community Health Director Megan Tim joining us to talk more about vaping education and prevention. It's a really big deal right now.
It's a huge topic.
Right.
And it's in every parent's face. It's in every school's face. It's a hard one to get around right now.
So it seems to be too like a myth that vaping is safer than smoking cigarettes. You know, you're not ingesting that bad stuff into your lungs, into your system, but that may not necessarily be true.
Correct. And so I get this a lot from sixth graders. It's just vapor, right? It's just water vapor. And I'm like, it's not a tea kettle. There's actually things happening here, friends. And so there is a big belief that that is true, in fact. And because so many people were using them as cessation devices to help them quit smoking traditional cigarettes, that there is a deep-rooted belief that that vape products are a safer product. And so that trickles to our kids.
Yeah.
And they believe that same thing then.
And it's also like cool right now, I feel like in schools too. Like you carry around that little device that even maybe looks kind of neat too. They're like, oh, this is neat.
And there seems to be a new one on the market every week. So it's the newest trend of whatever one comes on the market and the different shapes and sizes. And we haven't even talked about flavors yet.
Yeah, and
but that's a whole nother thing.
And there are so many, and they taste really good. You know, that's the thing.
There's a wild amount of them. I asked sixth graders, how many flavors do you think are out there? And the immediate response is over 200. And I'm like, you probably are not wrong. I don't know that number, but the students feel the weight of the amount of flavors. And that is attractive to that. Not only is it a peer piece, or, you know, we often say peer pressure, but I think there's also, well, there's a new flavor. Have you tried this one? And so it's not necessarily just the coolness factor, it's I'm intrigued enough to want to try another flavor.
And what's also interesting too, Megan, is that this can affect mental health in young folks too. Talk to us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so anytime you put nicotine in your body, it does actually stress the body, right? It creates a physical stress to the body. And so you may feel an immediate relief or a stress reduction feeling in your body from the nicotine. However, it actually causes a stress response. So even though in the acute setting, in a very quick turnaround, you might feel some relief, in the long term, you're actually adding a lot of stress. And so that does actually increase our anxiety and potentially depression and other mental health concerns, specifically for our youth.
Well, let's say you're a parent right now who is concerned about their kid, you know, getting involved in something like this. How do we start that conversation without being the uncool parent or overbearing or so on and so forth? You want to do it right.
Absolutely. Well, and as a parent, I know that I can be naggy sometimes. And so to all the parents out there, I think just asking your students how they feel about vaping. Ask them, how is vaping in your school? Do you see it everywhere? Are a lot of your friends doing it? Just ask them. They are the experts in this space when it comes to our schools. They know what's happening in the bathrooms and in the hallways. So being inquisitive without judgment is my best advice to parents, is asking and letting them have the space to share with you what's going on. And then to ask them, have you wanted to vape? Have you vaped? Let's talk about building a toolkit for you so that you can feel confident in your decision.
And I think being proactive too is key here as well. Let's not wait until you know we're getting closer to the summer and stuff like that. Talk to them now. Like there's no point in waiting.
Absolutely. And nationwide data has come out that high school vaping rates seem to be on the decline. Hopefully, it looks like it's trending down a little bit. However, our middle schoolers are trending upward. And so doing more prevention in your middle schoolers. If you have a middle schooler at home right now, start the conversation now. Don't wait until high school. It's really starting in our 5th and 6th graders, unfortunately. So starting early is the best advice I have.
Resources too. Where can people go to get some help here?
Yeah, the Tobacco Quit Line. Wisconsin has a great Tobacco Quit Line. They have a texting service for youth that want to quit vaping. There are a ton of resources out there. A quick Google search will find you probably 20 different things to go to. But there are things that come to you, right? So if you're not someone who wants to be on a phone with a quick coach, that's okay. There's a texting service available for that. If you want to email for resources, or if you want to talk to your pediatrician or your provider in healthcare, they can help too.
Okay, Megan, really good insight. Thank you so much for being with us today. We appreciate it.